or abuse, almost immediately they'll start to do early compulsive behaviors. And these early compulsive behaviors may be things like a latchkey kid coming home. I had one lady that she would come home, she got really good grades, she found out pleasing the teachers was a good thing, so she was compulsively a good student. She read Nancy Drew novels and ate ding-dongs. So she comes home from school, no one's there, she unwraps all the ding-dongs, lines them up on the tub, on the other side of the bathtub, sits against the back wall, and reads her Nancy Drew novels while she eats her ding-dongs. And so it can be that kind of early compulsive behavior, or the other stuff that we're talking about, like masturbation or eating or something like that. But early compulsive behaviors allows repression of emotions it allows emotions to stay repressed. If that continues on, the person just simply develops maladaptive behaviors to deal with their life, and that's where addictions hang out. Eventually they'll develop into addictions. Now, after those, if those go on long enough, it will create a life crisis, and that is when we see clients come to our office. They have now developed a life crisis, and so they're going to seek intervention. And there's two things that need to happen in intervention at this point. Number one is they need to break through denial that this is going on and that this even exists right here. The second thing they need to do is to need to understand the nature of this illness they have. What is this all about? Sometimes our clients will get settled down by just coming in and talking about it, and they won't break through complete denial because they simply go right back and don't show up again. It's too painful. I'm just going to hang out. But what we want people to do is stay in treatment and stay in recovery. This is called the cycle of abuse. So whenever someone gets triggered on an issue that reminds them of their trauma or abuse or abandonment or disconnect in their life, they just live there. And that just becomes the cycle of abuse right there. And they don't get out of that. It creates a life crisis. And our job is to teach them that they are to break through that. Now, if they stay in treatment, it's not easy. Because what happens if they stay in it long enough, and we'll all experience this, is repression breaks one day. You've educated them, you're giving them these skills, and all of a sudden it breaks. Fear is the most common emotion when at this stage of recovery, and they're not used to that at all. And so, not being used to that, what do? They go back to what they know best, but for their comfort and peace, and they'll return to this maladaptive thing, which that's where they relapse or go to their old behaviors. And we're saying, no, stay with your pain. Lean into your pain, it's going to be okay. It's an unknown to them. It's that reaching out thing.
Right.
And so we want to stop that and say, don't go over there no matter what, just stick with this. The second thing that will happen as they progress on here is now they're getting more in touch with their story and they're getting used to talking about it, so secrecy breaks. And oftentimes to help with the secrecy, the anger is there and it helps them even tell their story more. And they're not used to that one either. Because anger used to be one of the 7 deadly sins growing up. If they were angry, they were in trouble, or anger was, I'm a dead person, used against me. So they're not used to that. Again, they'll want to return over here, and we want to say, no, it's okay. We teach them the new ways to do their anger, the new ways to deal with all their emotions. We contain that, we settle them down. The next thing that starts happening as they get more educated is victimization is brought to their consciousness. Not that they're victims, but that they've been ripped off somewhere. Pain, like the grieving pain and awareness of all that, this pain is just not pain, it's loaded with all kinds of emotions, but it's the grieving kind of pain. They're not used to that one. Again, we want to stop them from going over there, lean into it, let it be, it's not going to eat you up. Eventually, through practice and repeating recovery techniques, they finally come to an acceptance, and this is what we shoot for, that this whole thing is a reality to them. That this happened, that they did this to cope, that they don't need to do that anymore, that they can bypass this cycle and just have some peace and serenity. So peace and serenity are the emotions when they finally reach that acceptance stage, and because of the shame base of their addiction or their life, they are not used to those emotions either. They're unworthy of peace and serenity, and boom, I'm going to sabotage anything that's good for me. I don't deserve that. I'm going to go right back to there. So our goal is to keep them on this path without going back. If they do go back, we have them learn from their experience, because this is where we really all belong. That's all.
Beautiful.